Welcome back, fellow scrubs. This is Mark D. Wiz, coming at you live through the power of the internet. Oh, poor Buggy. Poor Buggy. Anyway, it's Monday, so we're going to do Pocket Fighter EX work. And it's a community-based game, not for profit, not affiliated with Capcom or SNK. It's a fan game, free for everybody to try, and you can try it right now on GameJolt.com. You just search Pocket Fighter. It's one of the Mitch.io things. So, oh, wrong one. Oh boy, there we are. Okay. So, I'm running a little bit of a different setup today. Can't find my my headset, which is great. So I'm pressing buttons on a stick and it's doing stuff on the thing. But jeez. Hold on, it says frame drops. What do we got going on? I don't know. I don't know why this frame drops. I don't know what happens. Something was uploading or what. Anyway, so if you happen to hear any music feedback, I apologize. So you shouldn't. I got basically the same setup I'm doing that I have while I do gameplay streams. So hopefully it's not a nuisance. So there's one problem we have to fix. It didn't happen there. Might not have been enough time. But if Ryu happens to jump, super jump. Yeah, you see he turned around? And you got on the other side of Ken there, and it turned around, and it was all bad news. So, couldn't do moves in the direction that he normally would. So I have to figure out what's up with that. I think I have an idea why. It's because Ryu doesn't stay with Ken that he gets a chance to cross under. And he goes too far. And then he's turned around. Because the way that the game works, and as far as I'm aware, the way that Street Fighter V works, at least at the basic level, is that in order to keep who's left and who's right on the corner of the screen, correct? It allows the characters to both move as if there's no wall on the outside. And then it takes information that says, hey, who's actually left or right of their opponent? And then it'll readjust everybody back in bounds, and then use that information that it captured earlier to make it determine who should be in the corner and who should be out of the corner. And in this case, because Ryu ends up underneath Ken for that split second, he's actually on the other side and he turns around because he's, Ken's on the other side of him. And now I'm sure that Street Fighter V does more than that to do what it does, but I haven't implemented too many features beyond just the basic record what happened, adjust, and then adjust based on the data that we saw before the wall correction. So if you don't get to the wall before Ken does, you're okay. And things will come out in the right way. So, I don't know. That's something that seems to have... I've been noticing more lately. I know it's been kind of an issue, but I've noticed it a lot more than I used to. With the combos and stuff that I've been trying and developing. So, I'm going to have to figure out a fix for that. So, if you see that happen, that's why that happens. Anyway, other good news. Frame data has been kind of fixed. Now it's kind of a duct tape fix, but it's still a fix. So you remember we weren't able to do that before because there wasn't enough hit stun to get crouching medium kick. And we did tests with this move that I made it +0 on block and hit. And you'll notice now that it is punishable on both. So Ryu's got a +8 move, and I set it to be -8. I'm sorry. I set it to be -8 on block and on hit. Make sure that the frame data was coming out correct, and you can see this here. And he's getting punished in the last possible frame. We want 10. Same thing. He's getting punished on the last possible frame. So proving that all that works. And I have yet to readjust the frame data on that, just in case I need to test it more. So I'm gonna be able to start tuning up moves again. So this move I wanted to tune up, but I was having a little bit of difficulty because I was like, oh wait, hold on, the plus and minus advantage numbers are not accurate. And I can tell that because it's not working the way I designed it. Now that that's fixed as of yesterday, we'll be able to continue to do that. So what I wanted this to do was to be on so on counter hit, you can get an additional attack in. See that it's see, it's like +3. Now I probably don't want it to be completely +3 like that. Like I said that the advantage was wrong, but I haven't had a chance yet. I just fixed it, so I haven't had a chance yet to change a few things. But the idea is that if you get a counter hit, then you can do something else with it. So it's well, not that quite. I don't want that. I want light. Yeah, like that. So you could do something like that. Probably even do. Now you shouldn't have enough frame advantage to do that. You might be able to, if you got really quick fingers, you might be able to get it off on this, but tough. Now that was a counter hit, so he was able to move there. I don't know if I'll be able to get that. It's tough. Yeah, you can't jab. That's tough. Oh, this is tough. I'm sure you can get it. I've seen cancels off of that into Shibu, but it's tough. It's really tough. Oh, it fixed combos and stuff too. Fixing all the advantage. I can get it. See, that all works again. And all the cancels. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What? Whoops. Well, that broke. What the fuck? I think I know why it happened. But, yeah, what? So, oh. Oh! Okay. I see. I see. Forward grab's broke. Huh. So a couple of moves are broke at the moment like this. Don't seem to follow through correctly, and it has a lot to do with how I fixed some of the other moves. So here, can't do it now because I fixed it, but you were able to do, and if you saw on Twitter earlier today, you were able to do some air attacks before other ones have finished. So the example on Twitter was I could do the Shoryuken and then instantly do an EX Tatsu. I showed the Ryu one, but you could do it with Ken too. It was kind of hilarious. So I think that that code change is affecting this because it's a multi-part move. Like this is a multi-part move. So I fixed these multi-part moves, but the grab apparently didn't get fixed. Now, if my suspicion is correct, I think I know what might actually fix it here. Okay, so we got Ryu, Ken, Chun, and Terry. Am I missing anyone? Well, Iori is actually the next one in line. I'm working on some Chun animations because she needs a lot more custom animations than the other characters in order to give her third strike moves that she had in CBS2 and so forth. Her alpha moveset was very different, and I'm not very fond of it. So, it's the reason why I've started her early is because it's going to take a lot of work to get all those animations done by the time she's ready to get put in. So, it may look like we're actually implementing Chun-Li right now, but we're not. Aori is actually the next one. But all the changes to make the game deterministic and support GGPO have to happen before the programming for Iori happens. Or, rather I should say, not that it has to happen, but if I do implement Iori now, I'm just going to have to reprogram him later, and it's a waste of time to do it before all that happens. So let's see, we've got... It's grab, right? Grab forward or forward grab? Forward grab. So... Oh no, that should... How about forward throw then? Start forward. So what's the idea here? How did I forget how this works? Forward throw has some unique code to it. It still has to be expanded upon. However, here it is. Should be good to go for the most part. So, is an animation plane that currently starts with forward throw. And this is the mash timer is finished. Start. Or not forward mash. Start. Forward throw start. Oh, this gets you out of it. Oh yeah. So if it's not playing, it gets you out of it. Or if the mash timer. That's why you hit the punch and kick button, you get additional hits. What version of Ken is this one based off of? Alpha 2? Honestly, kind of a mishmash. Let me show real quick. Kind of show you what he has. Kind of a mishmash. So, he's got, the classic Shoryukens. He's got his normal light Tatsu, but he has his heavy Street Fighter V Tatsu. He's got crazy kicks. So it's more, that's more like Street Fighter 2. But he has a crazy kick target combo like Street Fighter V. Although it's a manual input, it's not just like a target combo where you hold the direction and press a button. You actually have to do the half circle. Show that. You actually have to do the half circle. So this is half circle light, half circle heavy, half circle EX. And so you can go from the light to the EX or light to the heavy. And like Street Fighter V, the light to heavy will give you a special cancel at the end. And you can obviously use them wherever you want, and they are special cancelable, or rather normal cancelable. You can cancel from the heavy punch into it, and so you can get little combos based on that. Yeah, come on. So they've got more utility than just, you know, being what they are. It's probably going to be sort of the cornerstone of what you can do. Now, like Street Fighter 2, if you hold the button after you do it, you get an overhead. And they do have to guard that high. So it is an actual overhead. Now you can do the overhead itself with just forward light kick. But they do have an opportunity to stand up during that. So if I turn... Now this is going to hit him because he's just doing a heavy punch. But he can... Oh wow, he actually got me. There's enough time. So there you go. There's enough time to get him. Stand. Yeah, I guess it's because he blocked it. But even if he gets hit, so let me make him get hit. He's still got a chance. He's probably going to get knocked out of it, yeah. But you saw the counter hit because he attempted to do something. So if he did a Shoryu, he could get you there. So you have to be careful. Now, the reason I mentioned that is Power Max mode enhances the crazy kicks. So that one pushes you back farther. They all do a little more damage. They got fire on them. But the main big difference is that they're all one string now when coupled with their overhead. So you can't block and counter it. And they're safe. So in Power Max mode, he's all got the pressure. There's nothing you can do about it. There you go. Even the just the forward and light kick one has also become safe. So that's what all that's for. Let's see. No. And oh yeah, it's the Samurai Showdown stage from Match of the Millennium for Neo Geo Pocket Color. It's Guy Ryu Island. So this is the nighttime one. We spiffed it up a little bit, but it's essentially an edit from Match of the Millennium. Oh yeah, there's other stuff. He's got kind of like a Marvel version of Ken-inspired EX Tatsu. And that causes a hard knockdown, so you can do shenanigans off of that. And then the other one, the EX Tatsu in the air, sends you down. And it's got a special jump cancel property. So you can do some crazy bullshit from that. Maybe if we can get it at max speed, so that's for sure. That didn't work. Nope, I didn't go far enough with it. Should be able to still do this. Oh. Nope. Should be able to super jump. Yeah, there. I missed that, but then you can do this. So he's got a lot of. Whoop, that's right. That's broke. He's got a lot of stuff that just from his whole catalog of him being him. And Ryu is pretty much the same. He's a bit of a mishmash of other things. He's got the usual. EX is the fire one. Got the typical Tatsus. Back throw. Forward throw. Got air Tatsu. Shinku. Level 2. Level 3. He's got his, reminiscent of his Street Fighter 5 target combo. And then the classic heavy punch, heavy kick target combo. Ken will stop blocking the flare. So when in Power Max mode, you can charge Denjins. And they do a lot of stun damage. And if you charge it all the way, you get that guard break. Like that. You can cancel them as well, and the reason I did that is because unlike Street Fighter, in King of Fighters, you get a dodge roll, and I've added that into the game. And that means you can just kind of dodge roll through them if you see him charging, so he can fake you out if he wants. You know, you could either go for that, or back off and do something else. Got Shinsho, of course. Can't leave that out. And Donkey Kick. Which, of course, is going to let you wall bounce. Nope. Come on. I can't time it that way. Oh well, that's not the optimal way to do it. It's not something I've practiced. Could do that. All sorts of shenanigans. So that's Ryu in a nutshell. He also has another Street Fighter 5 ability. Recognize that pose. It's essentially Kaku Fubatsu. I turned it into a super. Works pretty similarly. It just takes 2. You can stock it up for 2 bars and then use it anytime you want with down back punch. But you only use it once. What's different about it is you can get a follow-up super. Since I wanted most supers in the game to have level 2 and level 3 equivalents, this didn't really fit that mold. So I gave it an additional special super follow-up that you can use once you've landed it. Which does decent damage, but as you may have noticed, it does crumple, so you do get your own follow-up if you want it. So you can do more damage with a custom follow-up, but if you don't want to, if you're not comfortable with doing that kind of thing, or you don't want to spend the meter, or I'm sorry, if you just want to close the round out, if you got enough, and just spend the meter, then go for it, and you can do it. So Ryu's got some pretty powerful techniques. And Terry's just a monster. Terry's got some sick ass shit. Wait, hold on. What the hell happened there? That didn't seem right. Some of this stuff is really in flux at the moment. Oh, no. Oh yeah, I guess he probably hit him really close to the ground, but he was airborne enough so he didn't get knocked. Yeah, that's probably normal. Yeah. If he had hit the ground, he would have gotten tripped. But I think he didn't. He probably looked like he almost hit the ground, and so it was just an error normal hit. Terry's got, of course, power geyser. And you can't leave out Busted Love. Not by any means. Oh, mess it up. Oh, come on. There we go. I also found recently, not that. Let's see if I can do this one. Yeah, there we go. You can do that too. It's not optimal, but it looks cool. And in this one, you can get the full level 3. Now Terry's power max, none of his specials particularly change, but he gets access to a different level 3 super. And it's really beastly. It also has OTG properties. So you can really just end around if you get the right circumstance. And you've got the resources for it. Like level 3 Terry in power max and you're in the corner, not good, because one grab and properly timed, and he can just get some free stuff. So kind of a little bit like Urian's super in Street Fighter V. So he's really fun. Let's try this. Yeah. Get to get some really neat shit with him. Oh, that's not what it was. It's too much lag, too much follow up on that. Or not lag, but too much recovery is what I mean. You can, of course, power dunk. This gives you a nice free knockdown, or hard knockdown. And then the EX power dunk is actually high angle geyser, which you can do out of power charge as well. And then the EX version of Power Wave is Round Wave, which allows you a special cancel. So, well, let's see. It's probably better shown with Terry. Terry versus Terry. Yeah, we'll use that one. Use that one. So if I make him counterattack, he's set to do the he's set to do Power Wave. So I can nullify that with Round Wave. Round Wave will take up to 3 hits, so it can even guard a fully charged engine. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, Raito spearheaded this one. I love Terry's Garou stage, so we did sort of a version of that. Like, it's really... Raito did pretty good on it. I like with the scrolling background and water and all that stuff. It was a bit to get just right, but man, it worked when it worked. So this acts like a shield and sort of a, I don't know, I wouldn't say a reflection, but because you can shoot a power wave out after it, you know, you can do a counterattack. I believe you can do EXs out of it too, so... Yeah, so big counterattack. Get you in there. Yeah, I lost my shit super bad when Terry was shown for Smash. Terry is everything I wanted in Smash. Absolutely everything. Because he's got the special cancel, he's got the supers, he's got everything. Oh yeah, that's right. Armor Max. Forgot to mention, yeah, Terry's forward heavy kick will go right over waves, so you gotta be careful. Oh god, yeah, like Ryu and Ken are okay, but yeah, Terry's like way mad fun in Smash, more than they are, in my opinion too. I love that combo. It's not optimal at all, but it's fun. Boom! I messed up. Yeah, EX Crack Shit's really good because you can do anything you want out of it. Pour one out for Kyo, who gets no crossover. I'll be honest. I think if they what they're probably holding out for is to put Kyo in Street Fighter V if they can convince him to do it. I'll be completely honest. I think that's what the idea might have been. Because Terry got into fighting EX later, and but Terry got in. He also got into Smash, which is fine because I think it's kind of like SNK's mascot. But when people think of like Capcom, they think of Capcom versus SNK. And I think what a lot of people will think of is like Ryu versus Kyo in that way. Like, you know, with Soul Calibur, obviously it's Halmara. No, with Million Arthur it was Iori, but I guess because Iori's just got the crazy tool set. It was like, fuck it. He's probably the only one that fits the anime game archetype. But then Mai was in Dead or Alive, which makes sense, female-centric. But if you really think about it, if Street Fighter V were to have a guest character, then Kia would be the one, and maybe that's what they're holding out for. It probably won't happen at this point, but I don't know, maybe. That's just a guess, but yeah, at this point, that's what I'm saying. At this point, 5's done. Like, it's just done. They're giving the whole thing away for $30 with all the DLC included and stuff. It's done. It's the same thing with Ultra. They're done. Street Fighter V's probably the last character is Seth. I would be very surprised if there was another character besides Seth, unless it was, I don't know, maybe like Oni or some bullshit. You know what I mean? Some super secret boss. But the fact that they're adding all the bosses from all the previous ones together now, you know what I mean? Yeah, or Dan. That's right, man. Dan hasn't shown up. I'm a little pissed about that. I mean, like, you know, Dan's a joke character, but he's part of Street Fighter. Come on. He's part of it. You can't just, I don't know. You can't fuck Dan like that. Come on. You can't fuck Dan. Like, I understand he's not a Season 1 character, but come on. He should be Season 3 or 4, you know? Maybe with SNK's revival, they're gearing up for SVC3. Yeah, instead of Kage. Oh my god, Kage looks like Shindan. Did you see his moves? Or CVS3. Yeah. I was just say it would be SCV2 at that point, but yeah, I get what you mean. Man, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I think SNK would be completely down for that. I think that they'd be 100% A-okay with all that. The problem is Capcom, and like, and I don't say that without evidence, so to speak, but Yoshinori Ono himself came out and said, yeah, there's no reason for us to work with SNK anymore. We worked with SNK when Capcom's popularity was waning, and when SNK's popularity was at its height. And that was the only reason that the collaboration happened. They wanted to mix up what was going on, because they knew the genre was getting stale. And unfortunately, that's no longer the case at this point. Now, because Capcom's efforts in Street Fighter V have not gone over super gracefully, maybe they might think, well, maybe we should reach out and get our characters, you know, spotlights in other games and stuff, but we haven't seen any sign of that. Well, here's the other thing now, too, that Ono is no longer in charge of the division that creates Street Fighter. So there is a potential that we could see, you know, something else happen. Now, the guy, I forget what his name is, so forgive me there, but the guy who did Monster Hunter World, the producer on that, is now in charge of all the, I think it's Capcom Division 1? It might be wrong on that. I think it's Capcom Division 1. They do Street Fighter, they do Monster Hunter, I think they did Devil May Cry 5. So, I think they've absorbed Street Fighter into it or something. However it happened, Ono is now sort of like just the public piece. You know, the public mouthpiece for Street Fighter, but it's being handled by someone else. So there could be a major shakeup. And everybody's like, oh, they're going to save Street Fighter V with this and blah, blah, blah. And it's too late for Street Fighter V. But what's going to be really important is Street Fighter 6, or whatever happens after this. the next project, the next fighting game project that you have coming out, that's what you're gonna see. This new guy's influence take place. That'll be the first thing that he's done to the franchise that you'll see, the results of. And based on that, we can kind of judge where things are going, and hopefully it's really good. Now, from what I understand, hopefully accurate, this guy that I keep forgetting his name of is the son of the CEO of Capcom? Or the former CEO? Like the original, like the founder of Capcom? Or at least the guy that was in charge when when Street Fighter blew up and all that stuff. And this guy's been around, I think, since like the Alpha days, like Street Fighter Alpha-ish, like 2 or 3, somewhere around there. He started like getting into the corporate ladder. So like he's not a new guy. He's been with Capcom. It's not an outsider. Like theoretically, he should know his shit. He should know, hey, these were the good games. This was the stuff that made them good. So we got to focus on this. That's the best case scenario. Is something like that happens, and I hope to God that that's what happens. We don't know. We have no idea what's going to happen going forward. So it's scary, but it's also exciting, and I think Street Fighter 6 is probably going to be shown off. Wow. Let's see. So they said this Capcom Cup is the last one before they do a reset, and the Champions title won't carry over into the 2021 season. Or something like that, or 2021 to 2022. That's probably that window when Street Fighter 6 will be released. Because otherwise there'd be no reason to strip the champion of his title. And they did that when they went from 4 to 5. The Street Fighter 4 champion did not get auto-qualified as the champion for Street Fighter 5. They reset everybody's standing. And so they're doing that again, not this year, but next year, or the year after, something like that. So it's a pretty big hint that, something's coming. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be Street Fighter 5, it just might be whatever their mainline title is. Or, I'm sorry, Street Fighter. It doesn't have to be Street Fighter in general, it could just be any of the mainline title. They decided, hey, we're gonna have Marvel be our premier Capcom Pro Tour game now. I mean, unlikely, but they could do that. Or they could say, well, heaven forbid, Darkstalkers. We know they're just not going to give it to us at this point, but it would be really great if they did. So they could do that. They could say, screw it, Darkstalkers is our new mainline game for this year, and we're gonna fly that. Street Fighter 5 is gonna be on the side, something like that. And I don't think that's what's gonna happen, but they could absolutely do that. But there's a little bit of variance in the possibility that we have. But I'll be honest, I think it's Street Fighter 6. They're just gonna announce Street Fighter 6 at it would probably, if they were going to say the next season, the next year, is going to be after this, so 2021 would be Street Fighter 6's Capcom Pro Tour debut, they'd probably announce it at EVO. And then they'd have more stuff at, like the Pro Tour. And then it would probably release in February. Or somewhere around there. They like to release shit around February, especially like Street Fighter stuff, for whatever reason. And then that next year, they'll do something with that. Maybe? I don't know. That's just a guess. It's a wild guess, but based on the patterns of what they've done before, I think that's pretty reasonable to assume that might be how they handle it. And I'm excited for Street Fighter 6. I want to see what they've done. I want to see what they've fixed. And hopefully we'll get something, how do I put this? Hopefully it will be something that I enjoy playing more than I've played Street Fighter 5. Probably be the best way to put it. I don't hate Street Fighter 5, but it's not what I wanted. I'm always going back and saying, fuck it, let's go play Alpha 2, let's go play Third Strike. I don't want to play Street Fighter 5, and I didn't like 4 either. So I'm not jumping on the 4 is better bandwagon. And I think to spectate 4 was way more exciting. But I don't like 4 either. I think 4 was just too hard to get into, and for me to play it, absolutely didn't have the time required to sink into even getting the basic abilities of execution down in that game, and then just like, fuck it. And I just ignored that one too. And again, I just went back to Street Fighter 3. It's the same thing. Oh, we're gonna play Street Fighter? Well, let's go play Third Strike, because I ain't playing 4. But if they can take what they learned from 5 and make things a little more open-ended and a little more hype, I would be very interested in that kind of thing. Just get a little wild with it, and not wild in like, oh, everybody's got to have a crazy combo, whatever bullshit. But like, give people good abilities and some good stuff. And Facebook, who's talking to me on Facebook? That's great. I'm streaming, guy. I gotta do the stuff that I was supposed to do, like these effects. So what I wanted to do here, I wanted to scale up some of these and smooth them out, because I used, and we'll just stop motion, I guess. What do you want to call it? Oh, it unloaded. Oh, because I stopped it on the character select, so it unloaded all my settings. We'll do Ryu. No, actually, yeah, let's do Ken. I'm gonna switch it. Hold on, because Ryu's got extra effects that happen during his super, like where the ball builds up before he throws it, and that kind of muddies like what you really see here. So I'm gonna switch to Ken. It's much easier to see the effects that he has. Oh, I guess I buffered it in. Alright. Okay. So when he does a level 3 super, you get this kind of effect. And I want to, change that lightning so that it's not a stretch sprite. We're gonna kind of like redraw it in a bigger scale. I mean, here, when it bursts, I actually adapted the custom combo activation spark for that. And it just doesn't look quite right for that. And so here's the level 2 super. It has a very different look to it. The way that it expands out. So I want to basically upscale that to the size of the other one and see if that looks alright. And then of course when you're in Power Max mode they turn red, but they're the same sprites, they're just recolored. So this one's got the bug form right here. Since I moved to the south, there's these little things called shield bugs. I wish I had a webcam, I'd actually show you it. These little guys. I think some people call them stink bugs, and here he's on my hand. Oh, they flew out. How they fly into the wall, and then they like fall over, and then they can't stand back up. They're so goofy. He's about to fly again. Get out of here. You already flew into my hair. Get. But yeah, see, the lightning is actually, this is the normal size the lightning is. It's actually scaled up for the other one. But I want to get that same kind of effect there. Because using the I don't know, that custom combo like one I thought might have looked good, but it didn't. So you'll notice here that when he does a super in Power Max, when he gets to the top, I actually use that custom combo spark here, for when they come out of Power Max or Armor Max. And it works good for that, I think. So same thing here. it deactivates. Right there. And I think it looks good there. You can see it pop off. But I don't think it looks good for the Super. So the idea here will be to take... Is this it? This is it. I was actually a little proud of this. I just downscaled it manually. I thought it came out really nice. So we want to take this size here. Get a better look here. We want to take this size sprite and scale this up to match it. So it's going to be like an upscale and clean up kind of job, which works for me. Cut off the side. Copy. So this thing ends up being... Go outline, compensate. 78 by 77. 77 by 78. So what I would do here is change the width to 78 and it's a square, so we'll resize to 78 by 78. And then let's look at, like, what does this look like? What's the spirit of the image here, so to speak? You know, what's the intention? And then we'll bring that up to a higher scale. And we'll probably only have to do about a quarter of the image because it's symmetrical all around. So I would say that the shield bug flew into my beard. Get out of here! Oh, go, go, go! Tried to throw me, stuck to my hand. Get out of here. That bastard. So if we can just get the shape here looking right, we should be pretty good. Something just like this. And then we can kind of just copy this one corner here. Something like that. We'll have to shape it a little more intelligently than that. I don't know if we want to try and give it like a busted look this way. Could try to give it like these little hanging situations here, hanging effects. I don't know if that's my battery backup that's cooking, or if that damn bug is back. If it's battery backup, then that's not good. And this power is fluctuating, it might go out. Welcome to Kentucky, where we don't care what we did, we just did it. Now see here where this can basically be mirrored at this point. So if we do that, then see now this is a mirrored image here. And we can just kind of cut all this out. So that and that. And see how this all lines up. Actually, this is 3 wide. It should be even. So I have to expand it. If it's 4, if it's an even 4 across, then we can divide it up easy. Now we'll do something with that in the middle in a minute, but basic idea here is we can take a quarter of this and then we can chop off the rest. There, just like that. And to be honest, a lot of the times the tiles are stored that way. They'll only be like a half and they mirror the other half. Or they'll be only the top quarter and then they can mirror to make 4. That doesn't look terrible. We'll have to see how it looks in motion, but it doesn't look terrible. So let's set that to the side. Make a copy. And we're going to do the same thing. Actually, we didn't make a copy. But we'll see. And yes, we're not, if you've noticed, we're not using Street Fighter music tonight. We're doing Mega Man music. Just in the Mega Man mood. And it's Capcom, so close enough, right? Okay, this one should be a lot easier. It'll also be a lot less time. Not sure if I like how thick this is up here, but we'll leave it for the moment. This is a little better range for me. Trying to get that shape. That's a lot better. I want that. No, that's terrible. I want that shape. God, I'm terrible. Something like that. Aside from Morgan, any wacky Darkstalkers character you considering added in the very far future? I actually want to keep it more of an aesthetic of like Street Fighter versus King of Fighters. Kind of keep it in that world. Which I know, like, Match in the Morning did have Morgan, so that some people do find that disappointing, but it's not really where I wanted to take the game. So hopefully people understand. But I do understand the desire to see those characters. It's not lost on me. It's just not what I had in mind. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. It looks alright. Hey, Rito, what's up? We were just talking about the train stage. You got complimented. Does that count Tekken Fighting Layer or Virtual Fighter? I would say that things around in that same kind of... I hate to use the word power level, because it just makes you think of DBZ. But things in that general realm of power. Not magic, you know, more key-based martial arts kind of stuff. So that would include Tekken and Fighting EX Layer. and Virtual Fighter. Yeah, those would actually be applicable. Now, the big problem with those is that they don't have sprites. Where Match of the Millennium had all those nice sprites that we can use, and all those games don't have any sprites in the style, so that becomes a problem at that point. But yeah, I mean, aesthetically, I think that they would fit right in. I think that they would be fine. I don't see any problem with that. In fact, I would be very pleased if we ever do have the opportunity to add at least a couple Tekken characters. Especially since they had, you know, like Tekken Cross Street Fighter, or Street Fighter Cross Tekken. If it doesn't fly, it's in. Yeah, kind of. I don't know, Double Jump flies a little bit. Like, so the gameplay's a bit more, you know, like the Street Fighter King of Fighters. It's not like a Marvel game. Like, if it was a Marvel game, it'd be like, fuck it, throw everybody, and throw Dante, and throw Morgan, and throw fucking, I don't know, whatever. You know what I mean? But, it's more the, you know, that stuff wouldn't fit so well if you were just doing strictly a Street Fighter type. You know what I mean? It's just the gameplay doesn't mesh the same way. The aesthetics just don't coalesce the same way. And I know not everybody will agree on that, and that's fine. Some people just want the goofiest, wackiest shit available, and that's cool, you know? Like, that's why we have games like Marvel, and they're really cool. So I understand that. Yeah, I mean, it would count rival schools. Yeah, rival schools would definitely be a possibility at that point. Add this in. It's a quick and dirty job. The dirty truth about a lot of animation is, as long as you get the shapes right, a lot of people won't even notice frame by frame if one thing looks off or not. Go back and freeze frame some old children's shows, like old children's cartoons, or even like anime. Like if you watch DBZ as a kid, go back and watch the original releases, and sometimes you freeze frame and you're like, wow, that looks so weird, or that looks so ugly. But you never notice it. it's an in-between frame. The shots that they make last are the ones that they put the most effort into, the ones you're going to look at and stare at the most. Usually like dialogue portraits and stuff like that, the early on model. But in between frames, yeah, they're usually pretty. That's the ones that I ship out to the interns. We'll put it that way. Ever play that whack Final Fight Fighter? I have not. It looks terrible. It almost makes me want to try it just because it's so terrible, but oh, it's so terrible. It's so terrible. Oh wait, let me do a GIF. Or GIF. Some people yell at me, they're like, it's pronounced GIF. Well, I've been calling it GIF for 20 years. Go to hell. I'm not about to change now. Super Activation Spark. Let's say big. Oh yeah, we gotta do something with this thing in the middle. Don't look quite right. So, I don't know if I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I might just end up doing this. I wonder if we can get away with some kind of additional ring around here. Yeah, probably not. I'm more likely to buy crap like Fighting Jam or Sushi Chaos over Modern Fighters. Not sure why old 2000 Jank Fighters appealed to me. Well, if you like Mugen, then Capcom Fighting Jam's got you covered. It's basically Capcom's official Mugen. The thing I didn't like about Fighting Jam, more than anything, other than the mixture of the sprite styles and all that, that's the most obvious thing, is that, like, some characters got really good meter systems, and then, like, Ryu doesn't have a run, he doesn't have a dash, he doesn't have anything. He's got one level of super meter. Hey, not all Mugen is bad. Mugen's Mugen. It's fun in the way that Smash Brothers is fun, when you turn on all the fucking items and shit just gets wild. But I would never take a Mugen game seriously. Play it seriously. It's just not gonna happen. So it has a limited appeal for me. Can I just, like, open Explorer from here? Folders, information. I really wish I could just open the thing. Oh yeah, I've checked out Hyper Dragon Ball Z. That's actually one of the best Mugen projects I've ever seen was Hyper Dragon Ball Z. But it really highlights how much work goes into it. Like the fact that there's like only like a few characters, and they've been at it for years and years and years. It takes a long time, especially doing all the art. It takes a long time to make that shit, especially animate at that level. Yeah, good luck. Dude's got that shit on lockdown. There's no DBZ fan game even remotely close to that level. Like he's got that corner. He's got the market cornered on that. Alright, so we gotta pause it here. Let's see. Come on, I'm gonna close some folders here. There's too many damn folders going on. Here. Fight effects, armor, EX. I'm looking for super activation. Super activation. Yeah, I think, well, Mugen has an unjustly bad record for all the stupid shit that people make. And it's like, it's a tool. You can make really great stuff with it. Or you can make stupid bullshit, you know, Omega Tiger Woods. You know what I mean? It's the power is in how it's used. Now that said, you know, as great as Mugen is, it's highly limited. It's got RAM issues, it's got crashing problems, it's got limitations on how you can approach, you know, the progression in the arcade mode and all that stuff. And then those things are just like, until someone makes Mugen 2, the stuff's not going to get fixed. And it's not very appealing to me on that level. Okay, here we go. So, let's see, full power. Yeah, this is the one we wanted. So here is... Yeah, here we are. Those are the two big ones. So let's drag it into here. So I would personally never use Mugen because it's not reliable. And I don't think that anything commercially viable of real commercial quality can be made with it for those reasons. So I know that'll rub some people the wrong way. But it's pretty true. I mean, it's got problems with controller compatibility. Again, it crashes, it's a memory hog. It's very limited in customization for the modes. Like for the fighters, that's one thing. But is it Control T or Shift T? Shift T. Get rid of the excess space. 78, 78, 78, 78. Okay. We can just save those as is. They are even, so the pivot on center will be even there. Uh-oh. Did I click the wrong one? Did Unity crash, or... Alright, hold on. I got some super secret stuff on my thing, on my Unity menu, so... Hold on, I'm gonna blank out the screen. There we go. I think I just closed it. I think I hit the wrong X. I've heard of Bluegun. I have heard of Bluegun. It's supposed to be like a recreation. There's another one too. Half the mods are Ronald McDonald versus Dio. See, now that's what makes Mugen fun. Oh wow, it picked up right where it left off. Okay. Apply. Close that. Alright, super activation, full power. Oh, that's power max. Okay, so when it comes down here and it turns into that, then I want this to then turn into the big one. So, the big one. Here comes the big one. Big. It's big. And get rid of this, and get rid of this, and this. Okay. So copy this to here. Boing. I don't know. I don't know if it works. It might be expanded too far for one frame of animation. We'll have to see what it looks like in game. Which Mugen clone? Which is a Mugen clone? Oh yeah, Ikemen? Is that what it's called? Ikemen? That's the other one I've heard of. It's open source and has online. That's the one that I've heard about. That's the one that I would be most excited to try out. Okay. Yeah, I think this doesn't work so well because it just appears on the outside edge. It's gonna have to have another frame or something. It doesn't look terrible, but it needs something more. It can't just be that. Of course, that one's not changed. It changed the red version. So, yeah, let me slow it down to... Like, it's not terrible, but it just pops off the fist too quick. I'm gonna do it one more time so you can see it. Alright, same as so see there, it grows. The lightning strikes. And bing! So, there's a couple things we can do. The most obvious one is to shrink the size of this. So, let me save this as old. And we'll edit the original here. So we can take this one and resize it. I would say 80% would be pretty about right. Yeah. So let's see, this is how tall? 62 and wide. 63. Well, that makes it easy to edit this way. And to be honest, probably this way. So I'll make it a little more uniform here. So what we have to do is we have to put a little more emphasis on these spikes here. Because they're going to be drawing us from the center outward. In fact, we can do the same trick we did last time. Something like that. We want to draw your attention from here outward. That's really what these spikes are designed to do. Kind of give you a line of reference outward. Oh, that's too much. It's not cute. And then you can, just like I did last time, just kind of cut it off. So this is 2, 3, 4. Yeah, alright, that's not bad. So rotate it, invert it, and just line it here, and ta-da! Again, we've got our instant circle. Cheap and easy. Okay, so now we've got lines coming out, which is not very great, but now we got lines coming out from the center. And hopefully that will give us a little bit better of an outward appearance. Radiating, something for our eyes to follow on the outside. I mean, you could maybe do like an aura around here, but I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing, the compatibility, to have compatibility with the old stuff is going to be very difficult, like extremely difficult to get that working. Because you're supporting something that's not A, not made for online, and B, you know, it's a completely different system. Add new features and build on top of that without having like the source code to follow it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. I hats off to whoever's attempting to do Kemen or whatever the name is, because that shit's not easy. It's a huge task. It's definitely something that someone's taken on. They probably know the ramifications. They probably know it's a big job, but they're willing to do it anyway. You can't have anything but respect for that kind of thing. This is something I would look at and be like, I don't know if I want to get into that. it's ooh, that's a biggie, you know? That's a big one. Okay, we're going to... Now you can overwrite these as long as you do it outside the editor and replace the file, and it should pick up right where we left it. Alright, that's a little better. You see it spark out. Your eyes have something a little more to follow. I'll be honest, it's probably a little too small. I didn't really think about it. I should have put this in A-Sprite and animated it that way. I'm a big dummy, so I didn't. Well, easy answer would be to also shrink this. and literally just do that and call it a day. Now this might not be completely aligned, I just kind of winged that, but just to get an idea what it might look like. Actually, oh yeah, that's what. Oop. I'm not completely happy with it, but I think it's better than what was there. Alright, let's look at it actually in here. Yeah, it's not close. Let's just try one. Let's see. 64, 64, 77. Couldn't ask for better than that. Alright, let's get better. Of course, those are broken right now. I don't like how slow it is. So this appears for too long. Only have 2 frames. Now, I think that should take effect immediately. Yeah, that's a lot better. It'll probably look a little better on Ryu's, because he's got a little more going on. Let's take a look. Yeah, not bad. That's level 2. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. That looks good. So, I want to move the last couple frames out a little. Do 3 frames later. Too late. Pop it. Nope. Still too late. That's not bad, I guess. So I want the splash to come out just before time resumes. Yeah, so it's out right there. Boom. Oh, because the flash is supposed to bring back the light to the stage. Now those are the only two things we see here. We'll see how it looks on Terry. Yeah, I'm not completely satisfied with it, but I think it's better than what I had. So I'm willing to keep it over the other one, even if it never gets touched up from this point. Yeah, that looks cool. That looks cool. Oh right, the red one doesn't have it yet. What can we do with Terry? No, that's gonna be. Oh yeah. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. I like it. I would say that the size disparity is still a little bit more than I would want. Come on, I can't do it now. Come on, I can't do it now. I was doing it the whole time. Man, doing it off of this is tough. You can get power geyser off of it, but oh, it's tough. So you gotta. Whatever. Alright, let's do the red one real quick. So we just need something with the red color. And color it red. I actually don't use traditional palettes. Call this one P Max for Power Max. They don't use traditional palettes in game. They actually just use different texture. It costs a lot of extra processing power to have the additional, or to have the palette ability. So it's actually more efficient not to do it. These aren't multiple yet. Well, they are multiple. No compression, no filter. So this is the one where, actually, we will just take, that's at 39. So we'll get rid of these, and at 39 we'll paste these. And And they will be the blue ones here, but we'll exchange them for so those should now be all red. Yep, there it is. Nope, no, can't do heavy. Can't do heavy, then light. Boom! Is the big one. So, you'll see it on this one now too. It's only a power max, so. Oh, not that one. That's what I want. Awesome. Ooh. Does a lot of damage, but it's got a lot of setup for it. That might. Good timing. Ah. There we go. That's what I get for not using the stick. Hold on. We'll close out the mic. Closing in near the end. There we go. Okay. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Much better. I was just saying that's gonna miss, isn't it? Ah, just keep picking it up. That one's easy. I think this one does more damage. If you're near, yeah, if you're near a wall, you can get that one. That one's done. That one's really done. Hey, nothing X's. What's up? Alright, I needed to do this. This one will, in the air, get you the follow-up. But if you do this one, it's fine. Ah. Ah. Can't do it anymore. He screwed it up. Out to me. No. That one's tough. That one's really tough. I like it though, so I'm leaving it in. Gotta have some tough stuff, right? Damn. Terry's jabs are different than Ryu and Ken's. They get different timing. So funny to note, in KOF 98, most people use Terry close D for combo stuff since it's supposed to have a wide cancel window and plenty of hit stun. Yeah, his 2-hit one, right? Yeah, since they didn't have close normals in Match of Millennium, I kind of used this as sort of a I use that as kind of sort of a stand-in for that. The fact that you can do the I guess it would be C. Yeah, C and 3C. Oh, close roundhouse. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, right. You said D, not C. You did say D. That's my fault. Yeah, you're right. That big old chunky close D. Yeah, I only got the pokey one. There's no no close normals in Match of Millennium. A lot of people are surprised by that, but it's very true. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about now. I don't know if you can get it with the punch. I think it's just too fast. Yeah. It's weird. You gotta back away just a little bit in order to get this one. Music audio randomly cuts in out of stereo. Oh, I'm sorry. It might be a little messed up on the soundboard. The wires that I have are not super great. I repositioned the wires. Let me know if that fixed it. I didn't have my headphones because they got moved and I don't know where the hell they are now, so I couldn't test the audio. Sounds good now? Okay, yeah, it's just that loose wire. Yeah, I like that one. Good old chunky damage. This one ain't too bad, because you can land on each side and it won't matter. And you can easily get that one. Oop. Yeah, that also happens. I think my push boxes are too tall, so you get sometimes you get some weird results when you do crossing up, especially with Terry's. There's an example where you can do that on each side. Don't matter what side you land, because it's to charge up, so. Cross up friendly. This is decent, doesn't do too bad, considering. I think one change I want to make, is to change how moves scale by class over time. So what I mean by that is to change the scaling of normal moves, let's say, to scale at a different pace in a combo than other moves. So I could, in theory, de-emphasize how much damage a special move does later in the combo, as opposed to when it was at the start of the combo in relation to, say, normals. You say normals would do more damage later in the combo proportionally, because they will scale, their damage will scale less over time in a combo than, that's not exactly what I want to do, but it's just a way to explain it, so that you could get some moves are more valuable during the later half of the combo than the front part of the combo. And what I want to do with that is potentially make supers a little more valuable at the end of a combo. Because you can do the big combos, and you get some combos that are much shorter, but have just about the same damage, because the scaling causes the super to decrease heavily in its damage. So if I could bump super damage like 15% over other moves at the end of the combo, then having the big combo with the super ender might actually be the better option. So it's both the flashier, more difficult, and more rewarding version. So that thought's been crossing my mind. To make the finisher moves, like you actually want to use them at the end of the combo. But I haven't put it into practice yet. I don't know if I have it built in yet. Oh god, yeah, I was gonna say, I was just gonna mention that too. It is way more responsive, like you have no idea. This thing feels like I'm fucking flying when I'm playing it now. Like, it's great. It is great. Now, it didn't do EXs yet. You still have to time those in the same frame, but all the grabs, they're all trying to intentionally do it wrong by only a frame variance. Oh, that's the time up button. Let me try to do it wrong. Trying to do it wrong. There we go. So it works in both sense. So normally if you hold forward and punch, you get this, but if you cancel it in time, you get that. Yeah, I love that earthbound sound. That's always stuck with me. So one big thing we fixed last time is not allowing this to happen when you come out of a run, because you could totally cancel that into grab erroneously. Like we discussed before, how I wanted walking has the advantage of you can grab while walking, but you cannot grab while running. Running has, running is not a replacement for walking, was the idea. So what happened was, because of the Kara cancel system in place, you could run and then like light kick and then light punch right after it, and it would cancel it into a grab, just because it had no concept of the run anymore. The run was already gone. It's like, oh, you're a light kick? Sure, do it. So I have it now remembering that you were in run. Oh, we got run-in frames too. More than that, I think there's maybe 8. Part of that was so you could tap it out of a max cancel run and then do something else, and you're still running for those 8 frames or whatever. Yeah, you can't block out of it here either. Yeah, the same thing. Same thing here. I noticed KOF sorta had something like that. They had a few run-in frames. Oh, no. The Karas do not exist on the heavies. So the way I thought about it is, the car should only occur on the 2 buttons. Moves that would start from the 2 buttons that you want to press together. So only the light punch, the light kick, the forward heavy punch, or the forward light punch. And the well, there's no forward heavy kick or back hit, or light kick unique here, but any uniques that would use the light buttons and any of the light buttons here, they can be canceled, but the heavies cannot. So I'm kind of wondering if they maybe even intended that to be the case. Because thinking about it, I'm like, why would they bother putting the cancel on things that don't use those buttons? Unless they didn't have either one, it was cumbersome to make that nuance happen, or they didn't have the processing power, or didn't think, or thought that it was a waste of processing power to have it be that, detailed. Or it's just like, it's a normal, let it do it, is probably what their code was. Yeah, that's what I figure. Because, I mean, they started that... I don't know, I mean, Alpha 3 was really touchy with its 2-button grabs, so I almost kind of don't think that they had a buffer there. But Third Strike might have been the first game that they really did that in. With at least with grabbing. Like, Marvel probably had the two buttons on some sort of offset for the supers. Yeah, Alpha 3 was really touchy with that. I remember way back in the day, I'm like, oh, that's how you grab. Well, that's weird. And then I kept trying it, like half the time it wouldn't come out. So I have a feeling that they either didn't have a buffer or something was weird. Yeah, I was gonna say Alpha 3 was wild, like with the air recovery and all that shit was pretty cool. Not gonna lie, that was pretty cool stuff. I mean, now looking at it today, I'm like, holy shit, that game is super fuck busted. But it looked cool when it came out. Anyway, so we're pretty much done for today. We heard the time's up. So I gotta quit because I'm gonna die if I don't get sleep. So thanks everybody for hanging out. We'll be back next Monday, and that's actually February 3rd. We'll have more Pocket Fighter EX at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we've got a bunch of generous patrons. So I must read out the names here. Get it. Here we are. So we got Zombie Killer. We got Miguel Tabasco. Sorry. Miguel Tabasco. I guess like the sauce. Mike Cruz, Taryn Williams, Purple Chungus, Bryce Nagalingam, and AJ. So extra thank you to you guys. And Thursday we're gonna have more Retro Mansion game stuff. I don't know if Tim's gonna be here for programming or not, but we might do programming anyway. We got lots of stuff going on there. And the song's about to end, so I'm gonna hit it on the loop. Just so you get something to listen to for a minute while I ramble on. We got a Discord, and I'll put the link there in chat. If not, it's down below if you're watching this on YouTube. Kids, get off my channel. Stop causing me to get fined. No, I don't know. I don't know if the severity of that is fully reached yet. So, anyway, yeah, a little disappointed that we didn't get any, as far as I know, we didn't get any King of Fighters 15 news at Evo Japan. So I didn't stay up till 3 in the morning to watch it all. So, I don't really know, but I didn't see any trailers going up. I saw the Hamuro trailer. So that was cool. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get something at Evo. I'll be honest. I think they're waiting because they don't want to announce a release window yet. Like, now hear me out. Let's put on our tinfoil hats for a second. They just released Garou. By the way, Garou Mark of the Wolves on Steam, PS4, Vita. I think those are all the platforms. They got updated with rollback netcode. So go make sure that SNK knows you want that by going to buy that, because that's very important. I think this is a litmus test where they're like, how much does netcode really mean to people? So screw it. Let's take one of our old games, we'll retrofit it with rollback netcode, throw it out there and see what happens. Now it looks like they've taken notice and that it's been a good bump for them. So hopefully, here's my crackpot theory, they're using this as a litmus test to figure out whether or not they're going to put rollback in 15. And they're not going to release 15's release window yet. They're not going to say when it's going to come out, because they might have to go back and delay the game internally to make that happen, if they decide to do it. Now, I'm hoping they do, and I hope that that's what's going on. And I think that's why we haven't seen anything yet, even though we've known that it's been in development for, at least a year now, right? That's my crackpot theory. I think that they're doing this test to see if people really care, and if they care enough, then A, we're probably going to get 98 and 2000 unlimited matches as rollback, which, yes please, fucking yes please, you gimme, that's what I've been waiting for. But secondly, I think that they're using this as really as a test to see if they can put it in 15. And hopefully they're impressed enough. I mean, already KK on Twitter, the community manager for SNK, is like, oh wow, you know, I'm happy at the results and the bump in playership and all that. So hopefully that's a good sign. Hopefully they take note, and then they'll consider it. That's why I think that they haven't said anything yet, even though the game's been in development for a while. I think they're holding off because if they're going to implement this, it's going to be a big change for them. And they're going to need extra time to put it in. So they're not going to say like, oh, it's going to be out in fall or whatever, because they may not make that deadline if they're going to put the rollback in, especially this late in development. So I think they're giving themselves some time to figure it out. So I hope that's the case. I really do. That will really suck me into it. Part of the reason that I'm like, oh, okay, well, KOF 13 and 14, there's these big, not that big combo games, but there's a lot of combo shit you can do with it. But with delay-based netcode, do I really want to sink 1,000 hours into this game? You know what I mean? I don't have locals out here, so it's a little different. You know, I've tried putting shit together, and nobody plays Street Fighter. Nobody plays Street Fighter, so don't even know what KOF is. And then, you know, it's mostly Smash, and then I'm like, hey, let's try this game, and they're like, no, let's not. I'm like, okay. No joke, I joined the East Kentucky FGC Facebook group, and a month later, I think it was 3-4 weeks later, they have renamed the group to East Kentucky Showdown, replaced all the FGC imagery with Smash, and it was just an entire Smash group, and I'm just like, right, okay, so nobody wants to play anything but Smash, and nope, nobody did. So there was one other guy, he was trying to play Tekken or something, and he got completely ignored too. It was a shit show, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess there's no locals here. I tried really hard, and there's nobody here anyway, let alone people who want to play fighters, apparently. So, that sucked, but it is what it is. But the point is, if there's no good netcode in the game that I'm going to play, there's no locals here to enjoy it with people offline, so it's like, I really want to spend a lot of time putting into that? Not really. If learning the execution is hard enough for me, and you want to throw delay-based netcode on top of that to make it almost impossible for me to do anything online, that's your number one way to get me to not want to play your game in the long term. So, like, I know I've been playing Multi-Blood for a long time, but I only usually just played it with Tim, but we finally played it with the rollback patch. Holy shit, I have never played that game before. I just have never played that game before. It was like when Goku takes off those fucking weights, and then he starts going at triple speed. That's what it felt like. And I only played, you know, Melty to the capacity that the delay-based netcode would let me play it. But now it's like, holy shit, I can actually play this game. Like, I can really play this game. Like, for the first time ever. And I've been playing this game for like 8 years. Just, you know, casually with Tim. But, because, you know, he was a big Type Moon fan. And then I think that's how I learned of it. Through him. And I'm like, oh, I really like this game. I like the mobility options. I like the controls. But, man, I've never played that game until now. I really, for the first time, just played that game. That's how much of a difference it makes. And he lives in Holland. He lives in Europe. And it is a Kentucky to Holland connection. And that shit ran great. So if KOF can do that, then I probably put a hell of a lot more time into KOF. So, alright, old man rant over. I gotta get the hell out of here, or I'm gonna die. So I'll see you guys later. Again, that'll be on the 3rd on Monday, and then the 30th, January 30th, we'll have Retro Mansion game programming. And so far, I've been kind of just dropping the Sunday gameplay streams. I just don't have time for them between the job and all the projects that we have. I just don't have time for them. It really sucks. That was my way to force myself to play games and to kind of take a break from things, but good old Papa Mark don't got time to take breaks anymore, so we'll run it till the heart stops, and we'll see where we end up. So, alright, that's it. I'm getting out of here. Thanks you guys for hanging out, and I'll catch you later. Scrub out.